Hello, and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are going to be doing a full-on build of a 240SX hatch. Now, we haven't touched a 240SX hatch ourselves personally yet in Horizon 4, so it's been a it's definitely been a car that has obviously been, you all know this car, and nobody doesn't know this car at this point. I mean, I don't really need to do an introduction about it because everybody already knows what it is. We're not introducing any sort of new concept here. No. A new concept is not what this car is, and you'll understand why I put the digital camo on it a little bit later on. But it looks really ugly with the digital camo right now, but trust me, it'll look better later. Trust me. Like, believe in the fact that it will look better with the digital camo later on. So, with that being said, with all of that being said, we are going to do a full drift build of this car. No corners cut. This thing is going to be a, this thing is going to be a monster. Now, first up, we're going to handle everything in the platform. Going straight to drift suspension, straight to getting all of our sway bar stuff completed, and then we will do race weight reduction, which will bring down the weight a lot. So let's go ahead and head into all of our drivetrain stuff and build it. Wait a second. That's dumb, because I'll tell you why that's dumb. Because we're not going to be doing a KAT. That's for sure. We're not going to be doing a KAT. We got so many engine swap options. Good grief. Let's see. 3.2 liter inline 6. 2 liter inline 4 VVT. 2 liter inline 4 turbo. 6.2 V8. 2.6 liter inline 6 so RB26. 1.6 liter rally engine. 3.8 liter V6 twin turbo, so VR38. 2.6 liter 4 rotor racing engine. We are going to do a RB26. We're going to keep it. I'm going to keep it very, very Nissan focused here. And then let's see if there's anything we can do. Rocket Bunny. I just wish there were more GT wings, man. Like, that's something that I really do kind of think they're missing out on, is, like, the fact that they don't have more GT wings. But we're going to throw sport tires on this car. 275s in the front and 305s. Let's go with a 285 in the rear. And wheels-wise, I want to get some wheels that really fit nicely. And there's a lot of wheels that I end up using a lot, you know what I mean? Like, there's wheels that I end up using, like, over and over, and I kind of want to use something different. I kind of want to use these. I never use these on anything. I never, ever use them. Let's see, 18s? Yeah, 18s are not a bad size. Like, 18s are, in my opinion, like, 18s are kind of like 17 and 18-inch. That's my favorite wheel sizes, no question, because on most cars, they can either pull off a 17 really well or an 18 really well. Now, there are some exceptions to that, like the MX-5 Miata and stuff like that, where a... Let me see, we got all of this stuff all done. We got the diff. No, we do not have the diff, but we do now. But, like, on an MX-5 Miata, for example, I would say if you're building a Miata, just put 15x10s on it. Like, and call it good. Call it done, man. Like, 15x10s are the way to go on a Miata. I mean, more of a grip Miata, obviously. I wouldn't run 15x10 square on a drift Miata unless that drift Miata had some crazy engine swap and was making loads of power and, you know, could spin up those 17x10s at a moment's notice, you know, with like 275, 285s on them. But, yeah, I mean, you never know. So, we ended up right at, let's see, 796 horsepower and 602 foot-pounds of torque. Not a ton, admittedly, but I think that we can make fine use of that power. I just don't think that, you know, I don't think this car needs to be some sort of crazy 1,000 horsepower build. Not every drift car needs to have 1,000 horsepower, and I think that that's a common misconception. I mean, like, first of all, figure out your gearing tuning, and, I mean, you know, gearing is kind of a horsepower cheat code anyway. So, let's see. Sway bars, let's soften the front up a bunch. But instead of softening the front, like, too much, we're going to stiffen the rear. And spring-wise, we're just going to soften the front some. Not too much. I don't want it to be, like, too unbalanced. I just want it to kind of have the balance that I prefer. And diff tuning, we're going to go 100, and then we're going to dial decel back to like 65 and see if that kind of makes any difference, because when we're entering a corner, like when we're off throttle, you know, it's fine for it to lock up immediately, but like, I don't know. I kind of want to dial it back and see what that feels like. So, here we go. Let's head for the hill. So far, it's very lively and very willing to spin up those rear tires. Like, it's very, very easy. And it sounds amazing, too. Dude, it sounds crazy. All right, ready to see what this will do? Like, right out the gate. Holy crap, it'll slide off. I entered with way too much speed. Right. So, fix that and try again. All right, here we go. Oh, geez. Still got really close to the exit on that one. Closer than I would have preferred, actually. It's got a lot of torque, though. More torque than I would have thought. Like, you can let the revs drop way off and ease in from the low RPMs, and it'll still kind of push. And when I say push, I don't mean understeer push, but I mean push itself out of a corner with power. Now, I do need to get a little bit braver with the angle in this car, because the angle, like, it's capable of a lot more angle than I'm giving it credit for right now, to be honest. Let's get another run on that same drift zone the other way. Trying to get speed right now, so that's why I'm not laying into the throttle. And go! There we go, there we go, there we go! And not exactly where I wanted it. Not exactly where I wanted it. Didn't have enough speed. You definitely feel the lack of power going up the hill, well, compared to other cars. This car's got almost 800 horsepower. It doesn't have a lack of power by any means, but you feel the lack of power compared to some of the other, like, high-end drift cars when you're going uphill, as opposed to when you're going downhill. So let's do downhill one more time, and then we'll go to a different area, and we'll do, like, a big combo. There we go. I was going to say, the key here is to keep a rhythm. Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, I can approve of that. It's so slow. Like, okay, when I say this, I'm not saying this in a bad way. When I say it's so slow, I say that in quotation marks, because what I'm meaning is that it's so slow to rotate that you have time to literally think about everything. You have time to literally read a book in the amount of time it takes this car to rotate. And when I say that in, like, the best way that I possibly can, because, like, a drift car that rotates slowly is a drift car that's progressive and isn't gonna try and bite you if you get it wrong. I mean, and there's a reason why the S chassis has always been so prominent in the drifting scene, and that's because it's simple yet effective. You can use these cars for just about whatever you want, and they will respond to it. I mean, some people use them for road racing. Some people use them for well, drifting, obviously, but some people use them for mountain driving. Some people, like, daily drive them. There's a reason why these cars are so widely used for so many different applications. And yes, drifting definitely dominates the image of the S chassis. I never said it didn't, but it doesn't get away from it doesn't really get away from the fact, or allow this car to get away from the fact that it is actually a really good chassis, no matter what your opinions of it are. You know, there's a lot of people that have kind of developed the opinion over the years that, like, oh, it's a 240, it's just a rear-wheel drive Civic, meh, you know what I mean? But really, like, this is going to be bad. Yeah, that, I kind of knew that was coming when I saw it, and then I realized I tried to adjust my line, and I realized I couldn't adjust my line. I was like, yup, this is going to be a bad one. Brace. But no, this car has really transformed the image and market of, you know, a lot of things in the rear-wheel drive world. I mean, this car is responsible for almost creating an entire subculture around cars, and it's done that through not only drifting, but through being accessible, being, you know, like parts being readily available, being relatively simple to work on. And yes, I know that there's going to be those people out there that are going to say, what do you mean relatively simple to work on? It's a freaking 240. Either they're going to say, of course it's going to be simple to work on, or they're going to say it's a pain in the butt. And I've kind of experienced my share of both from my friends that have owned 240s, because sometimes they're a pain in the butt and sometimes they're really easy. So you kind of just have to, like, it depends on which 240 you get, put it that way. Some 240s come with their own internal gremlins. Some 240s do not. Some 240s are almost like, some 240s are almost blessed with, like, really not, like, almost endless reliability. And other 240s, not so much. But man, this thing just, it rotates so slowly and easily that literally you could get in this car without any drifting experience and, you know, pretty much be okay with going sideways in literally any corner. Like, it's not going to beat you up. It's really not going to beat you up. And I just realized I forgot to put my Send It sticker on it, and I'm kind of bothered by that. But it's not really a big deal, but man, feels like it's missing a... Oh no, don't you dare! For God's sake! Wow, this is the sloppiest I've been in a drift video in a long time, and I feel bad about that, dude. Like, I really like putting in these big combos because, like, that's... Oh, hi. He's trying to just run. Yeah, he's not trying to drift. He just kind of came out of nowhere and then left. This corner does decrease in radius a little bit, and let's see if we can... Aw, I was wanting to keep that combo going. Damn. But this car actually really likes to hold the long drifts, like really long, big drifts. You're going to be raking in a lot of ultimate drifts with this car. You're definitely not going to be getting away from the fact that, again, the wheelbase helps you. The simplicity of the chassis helps you. There's a lot of things in this car that really do help you in terms of being easy to drive and easy to drift. And like, they all just kind of come together to make it one of the best drift platforms to this day. And I mean, this makes my 350Z feel twitchy. Wrap your head around that. Like, this makes my 350Z feel twitchy, and I don't know why it makes it's one of those things, right? It's just such a good platform for drifting. And, you know, yes, there are some things that a Z is going to be better at than a 240, but there are some other things that a 240 is going to be better at than a Z. So, and I know that there's all sorts of debate right there, and it depends on, it's like, you know, it depends on which parts you use, it depends on which this and that and this and that and this alignment and, you know, the other thing. But to be honest, like, especially if we're talking about real life, you know, if you built a 240 and a 350Z side by side with similar quality level parts, there would be things that the 240 would be better at, and there would be things that the 350Z would be better at. There wouldn't be one across the board winner. And that's, I think, you know, where a lot of people miss the mark in terms of, like, comparing cars, because they're like, well, this car's better for everything because XYZ, and that car's better for everything else because XYZ. You know, and like, oh, my car's better than your car, blah, 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 because this or because that. And I'm like, there's advantages and disadvantages to every car and every chassis. I mean, the 240, especially in real life, definitely has its disadvantages. I'm not saying the 240 is perfect. 240 is far from perfect. It's definitely a flawed chassis in some ways, but people have learned how to take those flaws and turn them into strengths through lots and lots and lots of research and development. So there's definitely an aspect of time and an aspect of dedication that goes into figuring a chassis out. But man, when you really put in the time and figure that chassis out, like down to the smallest degree, you wind up with a car that's got so much research and development in it by so many different sources that there's very little to be discovered now about the S chassis. But with that being said, you know, with it being said that there's very little, you know, left to be discovered now about the chassis, it also kind of means that you've got a chassis that's had so much R&D that it's just about one of the most well-sorted chassis you're going to find out there. And if you want to copy this setup, feel free to do so. It's very, very fun. It's very, like, it's slowly rotating, yet very effective. If you're new to drifting, I highly recommend giving this car a shot because, man, is it simple. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click that like button. Tell me in the comments below what y'all thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Time for a big burnout.